slap you. Right, so welcome to the latest edition of VoltsMonster Interactive. This is episode 30. We're joined by Virgil. Well, there's a reaction. We've got Newbie, who's cold as always.
I watched the Minecraft movie.
Have you eaten the Minecraft dinner from McDonald's?
I haven't.
It's like a...
It's just normal. It's just normal with a toy.
Well, it's like an adult-sized
Yeah.
Happy Meal, isn't it?
Yeah.
It did fall
Perfect.
into place, that little marketing thing that they've got going on, didn't it? With the Minecraft release, and then they changed the McDonald's bag to like block letters.
Yeah.
And
I liked it so much.
Yeah, no, they've done a good job.
it's pretty good.
They
It's more-
built it up.
To be fair, McDonald's are very good at that, and they obviously, before that, they had Stormzy selling basically the same meal,
With ice cream.
but
That's
with
it.
ice cream. So clearly Stormzy is a character from Minecraft.
Yes.
I don't think he got quite the same, I fucked that bit up.
He got a what?
I fucked it
This
up.
is we don't.
Yeah. He didn't get a good rep for representing McDonald's, I think. 'cause
What,
No.
for selling unhealthy food to children?
Yeah,
Yeah.
essentially, and he's quite fitness orientated, I believe.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I think he did have to come out and say something like, I don't eat it all the time, or words to that
Yeah.
effect.
Jamie Oliver versus Stormzy.
Yeah, well, Jamie Oliver has admitted buying his children Happy Meals, I think.
Yeah, it's fine.
There's nothing wrong
Gordon
with
Ramsay
it.
eats McDonald's every so often.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Everything's
everything in-
okay
everything in balance.
moderation.
every moderation. You have it most mornings up to Coventry, don't you?
Only because there's nothing else to eat.
Yeah. Fair.
So my choices whilst travelling to Coventry are McDonald's,
Or starve.
Starve, McDonald's, Greg's if I'm willing to wait a lot longer to get there, and then when I get there there's always an enormous queue.
Oh, that's hard.
Or the,
And other than that, then there's now Leon at a couple of
Yeah.
locations. However, whenever I stop for Leon,
What's Leon?
you've never been to London, have you?
I go to London all the time.
How have you not know what Leon
I
is?
don't know what Leon is.
it's sort of like fast food for. My son and Boy would love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but the downside of Leon is the food is always cold.
Oh.
Like they allegedly cook it fresh, but it's always cold.
Yeah.
It's like they've all made it all, just left it, and then. But if you eat Leon in a restaurant in London, it's always better. On the road, or it's always all right.
Yeah.
On the road and service stations, terrible.
We did have it once on the way back, didn't we? From I think it was from I Need.
Oh yeah.
And it was probably awful. It was probably cold, and it was probably awful.
I do remember
The other thing that Leon do, which is a cardinal sin, is when they make you tea, they basically pour the milk in for you, and no matter how much you tell them to put in, they put most of the liquid content as milk.
Yeah. So fuck you, Leon.
So what could be a really good experience is made terrible by the disinterested people that work there. Which that can be said of other brands as well. But on the road, and then if I want to wait even longer, I go to get to Gloucester services. They make terrible tea as well because they insist on using fancy tea bags when all you actually want is a just a Yorkshire tea bag would be
Love
fine,
Yorkshire tea.
right? At McDonald's they have PG tips, which is not my favourite, but
It's
Gloucester services use some special homeopathic vegan tea bag, which is
Sustainable.
horrible.
Yeah.
It's like all the thing. It's like while we're on this subject of tea, it's like tangent. Starbucks, Costa, Nero. Why can't they just buy normal tea bags?
Because they're not specialty. It's not
Right.
specialty, is it?
I don't. If I go in, if I want to buy a cup of tea from somewhere, I want a cup of tea that I like, not because it's special. Right? If you go to Greg's, you get a Yorkshire tea bag, which is all right,
Lovely.
right? And you get to choose how much milk you put in it. Go to Starbucks, you get some idiot who's never made tea before, who thinks it's something like a latte, and then they give you a tea bag that's so weak that. Like I've actually gone into Starbucks, I've really fancied a cup of tea and it's the only thing available, and I've said to them, can I have 3 tea bags? And they look at you like you're mad and they go, I can charge you for 3 cups of tea. I don't want 3 cups of tea, I want 3 tea bags. The expensive part of a tea isn't the tea bag,
It's the cup,
that's
isn't
true.
it?
it's the cup and the water.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, and then they always go to pour full fat milk in your tea, like, and just sort of go, fill it up. And it's revolting. So I don't understand, even with Costa, who used to own one of the tea brands, I forget which one. They didn't even use them then either. So,
What's your favourite tea brand? Because I don't drink tea, so.
well, we particularly like one we call Punani.
Right, why?
It used to be called something like Punani, but it's actually called Thompson's.
Okay.
But between myself and my wife, it's known as Punani.
I've heard a lot of good things about Tesco Red Label.
I thought you were going to say you'd heard a lot of good things about Punani.
Have you?
Probably as you're a virgin.
Brilliant, I'm not even going to.
But what?
Maybe going to push that conversation forward.
So it seems like the one, the things that make Gloucester services so good also make it so bad.
Yeah.
In terms of their pretentious kind of, the
rest of the
vegan leather.
Yeah, well, my other pet hate of Gloucester services while they're watching is if
They are
you
watching.
order a bacon and sausage bat, again, sometimes it comes and it's cold, right? But worse than that, they don't put butter on the roll. No one wants a bacon sandwich or a sausage sandwich without butter on the bread.
That's just a
I do, 'cause I like
dry...
butter.
It's like eating dry cardboard.
Yeah, that's weird.
And they also wrap it in this really weird paper.
Beeswax.
It's like waxy paper.
I had one on the way actually to Coventry, and I really wanted to eat, but then I realised, I looked at the paper, this is beeswax coated paper. Who needs that?
It's
That's
just
probably
unnecessary.
putting the money way up than it needs to be. It was like £4 something.
Well, the other thing is they do make a vegan vegetarian option, which is I think it's vegetarian, and it's something like feta and avocado. Which, if you've ever tried to eat those two substances in a roll, they turn into slippery missiles.
That's so
Fucking hell,
funny.
that's
I can imagine that.
We were talking about synonyms for dicks. The penises
Well,
did
you
they?
were on your own.
Slippery-
You were just
Slippery,
listing them out.
I think I think I might add slippery missiles to it.
Yeah. So, but yeah, they are literally very difficult to eat.
I do like the pastries actually though. In the morning they do good pastry.
Top tip at Gloucester Services, if you're watching, don't buy them in the cafe. If you buy them in the shop, they're cheaper.
Oh really?
The same thing is about £1 cheaper.
They're massive as well actually, aren't they?
Yeah, but they're £1 cheaper.
Yeah.
Makes no sense. Literally, they're 50 feet away from each other.
In the shop, but
It's quite a
They do
big
to,
shop too.
It is massive, yeah.
It's there's no... You walk in and there's just space, and then there's different aisles, and you're like, where the fuck am I meant to go from here?
it's all designed to distract you and keep you there as long as you can.
Yes. Anyway, we got slightly off the subject.
What we'll say actually about Gloucester Services while we're still on that subject, before we move on, is their paper bags are shit.
Did yours break at one point?
Yes, they did. I was carrying my cinnamon swirl thing,
And it fell through the
and
bottom.
it literally just went from the bottom, right in front of a queue.
That's
People.
quite funny.
It was a bit of a shitter, and they sort of just looked at it and went, "Oh." I was sort of
How did that
didn't really know what to do
That'll
about
be
it.
another £4.55.
Yeah.
Exactly. Your fault.
So overall, service stations on the M5 are pretty terrible.
Yeah. Do you know what would make them better?
What?
A bay of hubs.
A what?
A bay of hubs.
Oh, Bay of Hubs. Yeah, that would make it better.
It would.
Sorry, I thought that was some euphemism. No, but actually, genuinely, the first thing they could do is have something other than the food they have there. Some of them now have Taco Bell.
Really?
I
Yeah.
love that.
But not on... I don't think there's any on the M5 yet,
Fuck.
which was going to
That's
ruin
exciting.
Benedict's life.
It is.
Yeah.
I do like Taco Bell.
They used the breakfast burrito at Taco Bell in America is actually all right. It's about the only thing that's worth eating. But in the UK, it's hideous. It's horrible.
Yeah,
the
there's
naked,
something happens to it on the journey from
I don't know what happened to it.
America to here.
Well, I mean, it's sugar, isn't it? It's all sugar related.
Yeah, sugar tax, I imagine.
And
What, on the breakfast burrito?
Yeah, it's all sugar
Yeah.
related.
Fair enough.
Have you tried the naked chicken taco?
When you say naked chicken taco, do you mean a chicken just in a box without the taco?
No.
Oh, okay.
So the actual the taco itself is like a taco shaped, basically chicken burger that's just sort of folded, and then you just fill it with salad.
Oh, that's boring.
It's actually quite nice. It does taste nice, but it's a weird texture. You get
Yeah, but that's like that thing
bread.
from KFC where they use 2 chicken breasts.
Yeah, it is.
Isn't
They made it exactly. Yeah, I never tried that. I don't know how good it was.
Sully ate it once.
Oh, did he enjoy it?
I don't think he did.
Oh,
Anyway, on that note, what news have you got?
I don't know. Screen's turned off. We've been talking that much.
Does that mean I'm going to have to look at it?
Yes.
Look at.
There you go. Nice.
That's a short one.
Let's,
I don't know who's going first.
I'll
Whose
start.
story is this?
I'll start because we have just been talking about environmentally friendly stuff. So
What, like Taco Bell?
like Taco Bell. So yeah, talking about recycling EV batteries. It's quite an interesting story. It's very, very long, and I've read it a few times and still haven't retained all the information.
Well, it's not as long as the UK tax code, which we learnt yesterday is how many words?
UK tax code.
Yeah.
10 million.
Well done, you remembered, you were paying attention.
UK tax
Yeah,
I
all the
can't
rules and
remember.
regulations on tax is 10 million words. It's about 30 times the length of the Bible.
Who
How
wrote
would
that?
anyone actually retain that knowledge?
They don't.
They just go past it.
They probably know about 10 of the rules and they just apply them over and over and over again.
Yeah, that makes
So if
sense.
you employ enough people that all know 10 of the rules,
Yeah.
that's probably how they do it.
Well, that'll be a million, wouldn't it?
Huh?
That'll be a million.
My solution to the government's problems though on that subject is just delete it. Right?
Fuck your rules.
No. I'm not saying don't have rules. I just delete it, make all tax 10%. Doesn't matter what it is, it's 10%. Doesn't matter whether it's tampons, houses, income tax, corporation. It does not matter what it is. Then get rid of all benefits, and then everyone will be all right.
Do you know that, Rachel Reeves? You just saved you a job.
Right? And do you know what? Do you know why everyone will be all right?
Why?
Because you'll have a lot less fraud. You'll have no civil servants required to calculate it because it'd be a simple spreadsheet,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That any idiot could apply,
Yeah.
right? And
Just be even.
Even
Huh?
I.
It'd just be even. Nice and spread.
yeah,
It'd be fair.
then there's no stupid rules about having a bit of your income that's tax free and a bit of it that's charged at this rate and a bit of it is charged at that rate. Everyone would just pay it because it'd be easier,
And it could just come out of your
Right.
And it's
paycheck.
affordable.
huh?
And it's affordable.
It's universally affordable, and trust me, everyone would pay it
Exactly.
because you just go, well, it is what it is, right? And job done.
Mm.
And also get rid of about 250,000 civil servants overnight,
Exactly.
so we don't
Saves
then
money.
that massive saving of money.
But
Yeah.
then, what jobs would they get?
Well, then they could go and do something useful and productive.
They could have more Taco Bells than M5.
Yeah, they could go and get a proper job, working for a company that actually adds value to the country.
Fair then.
You know, it is well proven that if you get rid of civil servants, the local economy improves.
Oh, okay.
Newcastle is a good example of that.
Elon Musk is. Doing a job.
So anyway, that's my solution to the tax code. Anyway, slightly off topic. You're
Yeah.
talking about recycling of EV batteries.
We are. So EV batteries are renowned for being quite difficult to recycle. It's a company
They're
that,
not really.
well, apparently were. But there's a company that say they've cracked it.
There are plenty of people who've cracked it.
Yeah, well, this one.
There's one in America in particular that's cracked it.
What are they called?
I can't remember.
Okay, well, in the UK there's been one there called. Yeah.
See, how can you not remember what they're called? You allegedly read it twice.
I have read it twice. I know where they're based. So they're based in the middle of Dartmoor, and they're going to open up another one in.
Oh, they're local as
Yeah,
well.
they're relatively local. Yeah.
So why have we not been to see them?
That's a good question.
Why have you not organised that? Filming from VoltsMonster.
Like
We'll
right
go and see
now.
them.
Yeah. Well, we're going to see them. Yeah.
And have you forgotten what they're called?
There's a bit of a weird name.
All the only words I can see on that page were the Democratic Republic of Congo, which I don't think
Indonesia.
I don't think that's what they're called.
Altilium.
What?
Altilium.
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 Okay.
Have you ever heard of them?
No, but that doesn't necessarily. I don't know everyone.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Contrary to belief.
I can't remember everything, which even though it's one of the main.
It was a key
points,
fact.
yeah.
It's a key fact from your story.
Exactly.
I'm glad you're paying attention.
Exactly. But yeah, so it's got some interesting facts on it as well.
So, what are the interesting facts? Can you remember those?
Yeah, so 1 in every 5 cars sold in 2023 was an electric vehicle.
Yeah.
Which is very general knowledge, not really relevant to
It's
the
not really very recent
article.
data.
Yeah. Yeah,
Although EV sales were up again in March.
yeah.
That's
So
good.
last year there was another 500,000 EV sales, despite what GB News and other people say.
Exactly.
Mm.
Did you see the article I sent you last night, actually?
No, I ignore you.
No, brilliant.
I knew
I
you
think
were
some
going
of
to
the
say that.
incentives were running out in the end of March. Am I right in saying that? So there
No, they sort of changed the rules
Yeah,
so
they
that
changed the
basically
rules.
now you have to pay car tax and things if you drive an EV.
Yeah, so maybe there was a bit. Of
Basically,
pressure.
because Rachel Reeves had realised that if everyone bought an EV, she wouldn't get any road tax.
Yeah, well they're
Which
trying.
they wouldn't spend on roads either.
Which is funny,
Yeah.
I didn't have to pay road tax for my bike.
I don't know what the rules on bikes are.
EV bike though. My other bike I had to pay.
Well, yeah, they're going to be trying to squeeze road tax out of EVs fairly soon. Is that the idea?
Yeah. Look, basically, if you breathe, they'll tax you.
Yeah.
If you own anything, they'll tax you.
Mm.
It's the way it goes.
Yeah. You wake up in a house that's taxed on. You go to a job that you pay tax with. You
Yeah,
buy
this is slowly
cup of
getting
coffee.
very bleak.
Yeah.
My life is draining out of me.
After listening to that video yesterday, I'm surprised you haven't emigrated already.
Yeah.
Because there are countries in the world where you don't pay any tax.
Yes, I know.
Even when
And
you,
even-
even when you fucking die, you get taxed.
Oh yeah, especially
people
when you
have
get
your
taxed.
Especially
family have to
you
pay for it.
especially get taxed when you die.
That's when the tax bill really fucking comes
Particularly
in.
if you worked for a living and actually stored some money away, then you definitely get taxed. If you're a lazy bastard on benefits for the whole of your life, you don't get anything. You have to pay a penny. Not a penny of the money you get.
That's quite enticing, actually. You know, if I was somewhere
Well,
else.
why do you think there's so many
I'd love to
people
come
on
here.
benefits?
Yeah. Well, I'd love to come here if I was, somewhere else.
What nice ceiling.
Anyway, so yeah, they're basically aiming to by 2040 half the demand for lithium and nickel they're going to try and get from.
Well, the statistic that came out of the company in America
Yeah.
was that there are already enough batteries in circulation that you wouldn't have to mine any lithium ever again.
Yeah, I've heard that.
That was what the company in America have said, which is probably true.
I feel like
If you can efficiently recycle something, then the question is how much aluminium is mined just to produce aluminium cans? How much of it is? I don't know what the percentage of that is.
Yeah, that's aluminum for you US watchers.
Aluminum. It's not aluminium. It's aluminium.
aluminium.
It's always
There's an
aluminium.
extra
And if you say aluminium, you're weird.
aluminium.
Yeah. On that note, actually, I did watch a YouTube video the other day about someone picking up disposable vapes because the battery inside them, they actually are rechargeable, and obviously they're single use, so they just get thrown away. And this guy was picking them up along the side of the road, and he was transforming them into
Where
a
was
power
he
ball.
that they were along the side of the road?
Well,
They're
yes,
everywhere.
They're everywhere on the side
They
of the road.
are everywhere.
Literally.
Are
Yeah.
Well, if you drop vapes in the road, you're a litter bug, and you should be imprisoned forever.
Exactly. But you got 40 of
It's
them.
like people who smoke. Why do people who smoke throw cigarettes on the floor? You smoke.
I do.
Do you throw cigarettes on the floor?
No, I try to avoid to. I'd be lying to say if I never have.
Why do all smokers do it? You
Been
dirty
too far
bastard.
away.
Yeah, no,
That's
don't
why
know.
we all hate
It
you.
is littering.
If you want to know why we all hate you, it's not because of the smoke. It's because you litter bugs.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, no, that's a fair point. With the disposable vapes, it's quite funny because they
We
came
just
out.
hope you get lung cancer even sooner.
I'll stand like that and send that to my solicitor. No,
I said we. I mean the colloquial we.
Yeah. So they kind of went. They came out and they said we're banning one-time use vapes.
Yeah, but said they're going to do it in like 3 years' time instead of just stopping it there and then.
Yeah, I think they tried to bring it in quite quickly. Anyway, the manufacturers of them just turned around, produced exactly the same product, but allowed for a cartridge
To be put liquid
to come
in.
out in and out
Yeah.
and to be refilled.
Mm.
But it's still a one-time. It's still a vape that only can be like it has to be thrown away.
This is a
after
bit like the
delivery.
Dangerous Dogs Act, isn't it?
Yeah,
Where
they like-
it's
they literally
specified
put a hole
dogs
in it.
that aren't actually breeds,
Mm.
and then of course everyone just bred different things like XL bullies
Mm.
because they weren't listed in the thing. So they listed, I think, a pit bull, but there isn't
Oh.
actually a breed of a pit bull dog.
No.
There is a whole group of dogs that are known as pit bulls, but there isn't actually a specific defined breed.
Oh right.
So they've done the same thing with that.
Yeah, yeah. Like the manufacturer.
Maybe just ban vaping
That's not a bad
and
idea.
smoking, and that solves the whole problem.
I don't know. You'd lose a lot of tax though. We're talking about tax.
Yeah, but if it's
Well,
10% wise, then we're really issue.
Well, it depends how much money we're spending on keeping you alive.
no, there is that. I mean, I think. Yeah.
There was an advert on the TV the other day by the government where they'd spent money advertising that this woman had throat cancer or whatever.
Oh yeah, I've seen
She
that.
says that she's 48 or something. She looks
Yeah.
like she's about 105.
Yeah.
Maybe that's through smoking. But I never understand why you would, as a government, allow a product to be sold, but then you have to advertise for people to stop doing it and then stop them dying as well.
Because
Mm.
tobacco, like, it's
It
so
seems
expensive.
counterintuitive.
They're just earning money off it.
Who are?
The government, right? Because they're getting
Well,
imported.
are you saying there's a net benefit to the government of selling a product that kills half the people that you can run an advert to stop people doing it to then stop them dying as well?
Who knows? Maybe they're
I
trying to
don't know.
pose as a good guy.
They're very deep conversations today.
Who knows?
Yeah, yeah.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, I think you know.
Why?
actually,
Here's a question for you. Why do you buy a packet of cigarettes that says "smoke, eat, consume this and die"?
I'd buy
'Cause
them.
if I-
I'd buy
'cause-
them either way at this point.
Right. So if I said here's a gun with a bullet in it, would
Yeah.
you shoot yourself?
Well, no, because that's a different thing. 'Cause
Well, no,
I
like
would-
where it's
not
Russian
instant
roulette. So like I just put one bullet in and said you may die if you pull the trigger.
If it gave me the same dopamine release that a cigarette does, I might consider
So if
it.
it came with a nicotine patch and I slapped that on your forehead and said, you can have more, but you have to try shooting yourself, would you do it?
Well, no, that doesn't convert to cigarettes.
Why?
Well, I feel like, you know.
I don't want you to feel bullied or anything.
What if you were to like?
I'm trying to save your
I'm
life.
trying to help.
Yeah, no, I see that.
Like, whatever
I
your
see
favourite
that.
takeaway is, if you like got that and it said on the packaging like this will do the same amount of damage to you as, you know, in fact this is gonna take 10 years off your life if you keep on eating this.
Yeah, I think, you know, when once you smoked a certain amount of cigarettes and you realise, you know, you don't die straight away, I'm kind of like,
But it's
It's
the
also
cumulative
an
effect. isn't it?
actually, how have I started trying to justify smoking? Smoking. No, it's not good. It's not good.
Yeah.
It's a smoke.
Anyway, sorry, we got off the subject. So anyway, Altium, we like the idea of Altium, do we?
Yeah, we do.
And they're local. So why
They are
haven't you
local.
booked an appointment?
Because you mentioned it. It's
You
the
should.
first time I've heard of them today.
We should be more on the ball. Anyway,
Brilliant.
next story.
Next story. Let's go to Ford. Who's his Ford?
Mine.
Who was the chief of the Thunderbirds?
You ask me.
Yeah.
Who's my dad?
Who's my dad?
Kev Tracy.
I can't
It's
help
just
it.
gone out of mind. I can name
I
them.
can't help
So you got Virgil Allen. Not,
Would
it's
you
not,
like to
Alan's,
follow
not
your
even,
friend?
Alan's not even a fucking Thunderbird. Alan was in the 2004 movie. Virgil?
I'm not
Scott.
a nerd.
Who's third?
Don't get them.
Good to see he's on the
confused with
ball.
Power Rangers.
I fucking love Thunderbirds and I don't even know their names. I know Tintin.
He wasn't in Thunderbirds.
Yeah.
He's an entirely separate character, isn't he?
No,
Tintin.
Tintin.
Yeah.
Didn't he have a quip?
Tintin's a dog.
Yeah, there's a character
Yeah.
in Thunderbirds called Tintin.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Anyway, they wouldn't be impressed. You'd have failed your...
Well, I've let my dad down.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, next.
Who is chief of Thunderbirds?
I don't know.
Blue Oval.
Why would, if I knew that, why would I ask?
Oh, are you actually quizzing? Oh, I thought you were actually. I thought you were quizzing rather than.
What are you talking about? Do you know what he's going on
I
about?
thought you were trying to test me rather than actually.
No.
Oh, okay. You're genuinely interested.
only in that moment you kind of pushed
You
it.
fucked this up!
Right, next story.
Good lord.
I love how they call them Blue Oval, by the way. That is really weird. Okay, so Ford launches EV incentives.
Why is it weird?
I never heard anyone call it Blue Oval before.
logo-
It's always been known because
I
their
know
logos
it's
are
a Blue
blue
Oval.
oval.
I know, but I didn't know they called it Blue Oval.
Where have you been?
I don't know. Not in this world,
Watching the
apparently.
Minecraft movie.
Yes. I've watched Minecraft my whole life. So...
I don't understand Minecraft.
I love
Why not?
Minecraft.
Strange game.
I grew
Played by
up watching
weirdos.
It's way too left wing, isn't it?
What's that got to do with politics?
They teach
It might be a
kids.
euphemism for what the world would look like if it was left to the left wingers. Where literally the ground's on fire and shit explodes and
God, I should have
Sounds
said
like
that. shouldn't I?
you get attacked by sheep.
You don't get...
Yeah. I thought you would love it being autistic, Will, to be honest.
What's you on about?
Yeah, if you don't understand
It's a terrible game.
I love Minecraft. I grew up on it. I literally grew up on it. I am being
There are many
judged.
things your mother got wrong. One of those was allowing you on Minecraft.
No, it's an educational resource.
It's not an educational
It is.
resource.
There are educational resources on it, like in the game.
Yeah, they teach,
that teach
where?
They
kids.
teach primary schools through Minecraft. don't they?
Yeah, like I didn't know what a pickaxe was until Minecraft. Genuinely, I did not know what a pickaxe was
Yeah,
until
I mean,
Minecraft.
I wouldn't.
Yeah, but you didn't know who
you
Jack
know,
Black was
throw
until
Minecraft at people as
Yeah.
a way of.
Do you like Roblox?
Oh, I
No,
don't
not
like
really.
Roblox that
Oh.
much. I play Roblox sometimes.
You look like a Roblox character.
I know the one girl with the hat from
Yes.
from Xbox. Yeah.
It is interesting that you
told.
like one of your favourite games is Lemmings, and you don't like Minecraft.
They're very different.
They're very similar.
No, they're not.
Yeah, you get a pig for a cliff.
I know what title this is going to
No.
be for this interactive.
Yeah. Think of the thumbnail already.
Anyways, onto the subject.
Anyway, on to the subject before Benedict
So-
pushes us over the edge.
Ford
Like
is, providing incentives for this new Puma that came out, the one that looked exactly like the other Pumas that have been out. They really glorify the fact that, oh wow, this incentive is going to be amazing, like people are going to like get more EVs, and then you look at the comments and everyone's saying fuck this car, don't like this car at all. You get a free EV charger with it. I thought all cars came with free EV
Well, they do.
chargers.
They come with a granny charger. Well, I think what they're talking about is a home charger, a slow charger.
Yeah,
7
so-
kilowatt one.
That comes with that, and also like insurance cover.
But what it doesn't do, right? The bit that Ford are missing, which is
Yeah.
what we've said on here plenty of times, is you need if you want people to buy EVs, make ones that people want.
Yep.
Stop making something that's designed by a bunch of accountants in a dark room,
Yeah.
Exactly, and
right? Renault 5, right? Sold out, right? Everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere it's on the market, it's sold out, right? You cannot get one. It's an EV. They didn't need to. They haven't incentivised it at all.
no.
The fact is that Ford keep producing cars that people don't want,
But the thing
and that is a sad day because Ford have
They-
always produced
yeah.
great drivers' cars.
Having said that, Ford Explorer, that we did a review on.
Yeah.
It's all right, but it's a bit dull.
No, it's not amazing.
It doesn't make you go, oh, I really want one of those.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people aren't queuing up to get them.
Well, it's better than the original Explorer.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
They don't.
I've
know
got
that.
shoes that are more nice to drive than the original Explorer.
Oh.
The original Explorer was a terrible car.
Yeah, they weren't too proud of it by the end, were they?
Well, I don't think they were proud of it in the beginning, but
No.
it was bad. You know, Ford
Yeah.
in America, right? They brought out the Bronco, right? Sold like hotcakes. Sold like hotcakes because it's what people wanted to buy. Ford Europe have forgotten that they need to actually make stuff that people make and what people want. And a good example of that is the Ford Capri, which no one wants. It is not a Capri. You can't just stick a name badge on something
No.
and think that people will go, oh yeah, I follow the heritage of that. I really want one. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
You know, it would be a bit like it's actually the same thing as Aston Martin putting the badge Signet on a Toyota IQ. It was still a fridge with 4 wheels, and everyone knew it was a Toyota.
Yeah. But
It
yeah.
didn't make it any more Aston Martin because you've got an Aston Martin grill on it.
Yeah.
Same thing applies.
in this thing they were just boasting about how everyone loved the Puma before and they wanted to bring in
The original
EV
Puma was
version.
actually a really good car.
Really?
Yeah, it was actually
Yeah.
a really good car. And they gradually made it fatter
Yes,
and
and
more useless.
I always say this,
Sounds like
but these
my journey.
Yeah, it does sound like your journey through life.
these cars look like they're getting stung by bees, and I say this all the time. EVs, like in a general
What,
form,
I think all
they look
cars,
fat and
they're all fat.
chunky.
but that's
Yeah,
mainly because
and then
I'm going to quite, through fear of getting accused of being some sort of health and safety person, right? Jeremy Clarkson summed it up, right? People would have less accidents if their steering wheel had a big spike in the middle of it, right? And what's happened with cars is they've got heavier and heavier and heavier and got fatter and fatter and fatter. Not because of anything else other than all the health and safety rules with airbags and all the rest of it. Now, airbags have saved some lives, but I've also seen people that have been really badly injured by them. So it's kind of one of those things. There's probably a engineering middle ground
yeah,
where if you make a car so heavy, when it does have an accident, it will do serious damage to the people who are either in it or in the other car.
yeah. It's like
So having
bulldozer.
lighter cars, you have less momentum, you have less kinetic energy when it suddenly comes
Yeah.
to a stop, you get less G-force, all the rest of it.
I think
And unfortunately, when you've got an EV that's already heavy, having it fat as well doesn't actually help.
I think people do forget that at the end of the day you are driving a very heavy piece of metal
Absolutely.
very fast, and
And you
because
have
it's so
You drive it accordingly.
Yeah, I mean, think back when cars were introduced.
Well, they were driving at 10 mile an hour.
Yeah, they were, but they were
Like,
still
it was
going,
difficult-
that's dangerous in comparison.
Yeah, that's why they had a man walking in front of it,
Exactly.
so they could run him over.
But in comparison, like to nowadays,
When motorways were first invented, they didn't have speed limits. It was communists who brought those in.
You're welcome.
And, people flocked to the M1 to see how fast their Jaguars could go.
That's quite funny.
Right. And then some communists came along and put 70 mile an hour, and it's been the same ever since. Should the speed limit be 70 mile an hour? I don't know. You tell us. In Germany, it's 80 mile an hour. And then there's sections where there is no speed limit.
Isle of Man.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Anyway,
It's very good.
but anyway, good point.
Yeah, I just saw it and I thought, like, damn, they're making another article about how they're lying about how good a car is, and the comments are so funny. People are saying, stop bringing out cars that we don't want, or we don't like this, and it's just it's hilarious. Like, they just don't agree with it, and
But this is the point. If you produce a car that people really want, they'll buy it.
yeah,
And there's plenty of examples of that, right? And the Renault 5 is the latest EV that is selling like mental numbers, right?
Yeah.
Don't really like the advert, right? I like the advert, but I don't like the music. It's weird. But as a whole, there are cars that have sold very well as EVs.
Exactly.
And MG is a good example. They make a thoroughly good. And there is another story coming up about cars that are selling well that are EVs.
Should we move on to it now?
If you want.
Let's do it.
Which is my story. I think it's the last one. Which is about BYD.
Ooh.
They've sold a record nearly 10,000 cars in Q1.
I like BYD.
They've gone from almost nil market share to 1.6% with BYD. And they're pretty good cars, but the thing about them is they're priced at the right price. So where Ford have got, so if you go and buy a Ford Explorer, the equivalent BYD is, well, the Ford Explorer is about 50 grand.
What?
The BYD is like 36.
What's the equivalent? Is it the Seal? Or?
No,
Seal.
it might be the Seal.
Yeah.
And then there's the new, is it a Trato or whatever it is, the SUV one. But
Shark, isn't it?
I've lost track of what they're called.
They're all Seals.
Right. The point is that they're managing to sell cars with almost no brand recognition because they're good cars built, and I tell you who it shows up the most is actually Tesla.
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
Because comparable product with Tesla, because Teslas aren't. We all know I don't really like Teslas, but comparatively, the BYD is a better car. in my
Have
view.
you seen I'm sure you've seen the inside of the BYD, but it's so, and this isn't me just being a girl, but like to me, the inside is so convenient of the BYD.
What do you mean convenient?
Like, I don't know, just everything
What, it has
that's
seats?
Aesthetically pleasingly convenient, and the cup holders and everything, it just looks
You would have loved
like...
the Funky Cat.
The what?
Funky Cat.
What's that?
The Aura,
Oh yeah,
which
probably.
they renamed the 0.03 or something.
But yeah, I just
Actually,
like that a lot.
GWM, who make the Aura, have brought out their new kind of SUV thing, and it looks all right and is seriously cheap.
See, that's my type of car, like the BYDs and stuff.
But like with the BYD, you get to do karaoke in them.
I know, but
Yeah, they've
it's,
got that little novelty type thing,
Yeah,
and
it's
probably
almost-
similar technology to the Tesla in terms of their battery, their range, and
I find that because BYD's from China, like it's the quirk of the karaoke stuff. Like that is such an Asian thing to do,
Yeah.
and I absolutely love it though. Like it's got personality, and Tesla's just a blank sheet of paper in my opinion. Like
Dull.
it's dull, yeah. There's like one screen, 4 leather seats, and they look hard and sad.
To be honest, I don't like Tesla seats. They're really uncomfortable for
Yeah.
me. So then there you go.
It's actually very well priced.
It's that thing there on the left that's just popped up. Is the new SUV thing.
Okay, don't know if it's the same one as.
It's very pretty.
But 25 grand starting.
Yeah. It's not a bad little thing.
It's nice. I like it.
Same bloke who designed the Porsche Cayenne. You'd never have noted. No.
No, yeah.
Anyway, I think they've made a mistake in the branding, not continuing to call it the Funky Cat. But
Yeah, no, I agree. I thought it was a wicked
it's
name.
just a.
It suited it as well.
Huh?
It suited it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does look like cat eyes.
Anyway, but well done to BYD. They're chasing down MG pretty quickly.
Nice.
Yeah, to go from 0 to 1.8% or
1.6%.
That's pretty impressive, and I have actually been noticing more on the road.
Yeah, you are starting to
it's
see
a
them.
physical shift that you can see.
Yeah.
And the rest of the Chinese ones are coming. Moda, JQ, they're all chasing the main manufacturers. And to be honest, if I was a car manufacturer right now, I'd be a little bit scared
Yeah.
because you can get an Moda, electric Moda, for under 30 grand,
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
and 350 miles of range. It's not badly spec'd. It's about the same quality as an MG.
There is a bit of restriction on some of the technology that they're letting in, I believe, on the capability of the batteries.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
So like the really well performing batteries, they're like, no, we're not having them here.
Yeah, but
And everyone wants them.
they're
There
so
you go.
far ahead in life
Everyone wants
though.
them for their.
And like the Moda has got the interest rate on it's cheap.
Yeah.
It's not a bad looking car.
But it's
quite
still like
comfortable.
looks huge.
I actually quite like the grill.
That's the petrol one.
I actually quite. I don't mind.
Ugh. It's got a bunch of holes in it.
If you buy the petrol one, you can basically get a really top spec 5-seater.
That's nice.
Yeah, that's the EV.
I prefer that over the other one.
If you buy the petrol one, you can get it for like 25 grand with your deposit paid, and performance stats on it aren't bad. The petrol one even 7.8 seconds to 60 and 37 mpg average. It's not terrible.
No.
But the EV does everything that it says on the tin.
Love a good bit.
I know we're here to discuss EVs, but
Wireless chargers.
it's cheap.
Probably, yeah.
Like you try and find another car at that spec for that kind of money.
Inside looks so
Well, talking of airbags. fucking
There you go. There you go.
I mean, fully equipped, Looks quite safe to me.
unless you're in the back and you smack your face on that.
But that's normal in cars. you are going to smack your head forward somehow
But,
and get whiplash.
Prime example. They are coming. The Chinese are coming, and
They're so much more advanced.
This is the tip of the spear.
Mm.
Yeah, interesting.
Mm.
Next story.
Interesting stuff. This will be my story.
Nice.
Yeah, so apparently the UK are going to be relaxing some of the rules and regulations they've been putting on car manufacturers for the last couple of years because...
Are you talking about the EV mandate?
The EV mandate, that's right. So they're seeming to be giving a bit of slack to the car manufacturers.
I tell you who'll be really pleased about that is Jaguar Land Rover.
Wow.
Because they had been paying the £17,000 fine on every car they sold.
Yes.
And still making a profit. So what does that tell you? But now Jaguar Land Rover have stopped exporting cars to the US because of the tariff thing for the moment.
That's what I was going to say. At the bottom of the story, it goes into state that, I believe. Bit up, maybe.
Look, there's a headline for you. The government have used the phrase "hope over reality." That seems like a common thread.
Yeah, that's not a good fucking way to say it, is it? Right to the bottom, I think.
Yeah, Coventry-based manufacturer Jaguar announced on Saturday it would pause all shipments in April to the US as it works to address the new trading terms. Do you know what I think they're actually doing? Between you and I...
And
right?
YouTube.
Yes. My prediction is this, right? So do you understand why Trump has done what he's done?
Yes.
Scare people?
Do you? Right?
Kind of, don't know,
No.
maybe.
Well, I think I've got another.
So, Trump's logic is this, right? You impose tariffs on everyone. That causes a flight of capital from stocks and shares into government bonds. Next year, the US has got about 9 trillion of renewing government debt. And currently, government debt is very expensive, as Rachel Reeves found out. So, if you cause people to go and buy more people buy government debt, the cost of it goes down. So, for every percentage point that goes down, it saves 50 billion over 10 years.
So is he using the stock market?
He's using the market against
knew it.
itself, right?
Yeah. That's
So-
why there was a dip and a lot of people are talking about it.
So, stage 2 of this is there is a massive budget deficit between Europe and China and the US, right? So that basically means the US buys more than it exports to those two regions. And also at the same time, the Europeans hadn't been coughing up their money towards defence. So America was continually bailing out European countries within NATO. So what he's done is he's basically said, you need to pay for your defence, right? Which is what they should do anyway, right? 'Cause it's not really fair, right? And the second thing he's doing is, I've got a load of debt that's renewing. The main advantage of that is it brings down mortgage rates and it brings down credit rates. And he wants companies to reinvest in America and employ Americans. So what Jaguar Land Rover will end up probably having to do is open an assembly or manufacturing plant in the US to serve the US. Two advantages of that, he gets all of the payroll tax for those people that employ it. Who doesn't get the payroll tax?
Jaguar.
Rachel Reeves.
And the UK, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, what is basically now happening in the background is Rachel Reeves will have shit her pants along with Keir Starmer, and whatever they say, fortunately the UK has the smallest trade imbalance worldwide. In fact, it's almost balanced. It probably varies either way. So the chances are a deal will be struck to allow more American cars into our country, which we already tariffed. Right? So Tesla's already had a tariff on them, but that was bigger than the tariff going to the US. And they will, because of Brexit, we will probably get some sort of trade deal. And one of the trade-offs in that will be something to do with probably chlorinated chicken. Which chlorinated chicken is a random thing. in America, they clean their chicken before they sell it with chlorine. You look horrified, right?
What the hell?
Do you eat salad here?
Not really.
Right? Do you eat anything green, vegetables of any sort? They're all chlorinated.
I always wash them because I'm scared of stuff like that.
They're all chlorinated.
That's horrible.
So there's been this whole debate about chlorinated chicken, and trust me, there will be some sort of deal done, right? And we will probably, our tariff will either be reduced or removed. And what Jaguar Land Rover is doing is going, we delay our deliveries, we don't have to change anything, but they're hoping that a deal will be done.
That'll be a while.
But I can tell you, we're more likely to get a deal, even with Keir Starmer, than maybe Macron or anyone in Germany. Because Trump particularly hates the Germans for some reason. But anyway, that is the inside track of why this has all happened.
That's interesting.
So everyone's going, ugh. At the end of the day, one thing Trump has done, what's Trump done?
What has he done?
He's done quite a bit.
No, but what has he done? Huh?
Quite a bit.
Yeah, but what has he done? What has he done that our Keir Starmer and Rachel Reeves haven't done?
Grown a set of bollocks.
Well, they don't, yeah. Well, Rachel Reeves may have bollocks, but they're obviously tiny.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know. But anyway,
Well,
do you know what he's done?
kind of exposing the corruption.
No, he may have done that, but what has he actually done?
He's
Stood by his what he said.
Exactly. He's done exactly what he said he would do. Unlike Keir Starmer, who said, you won't have an increase in council tax, but it's gone up. Right? We won't raise tax on working people. But there are many examples of that where he has. Right?
NHS.
Yeah, he said waiting times will come down. That hasn't happened. Basically, everything that Keir Starmer said has not come true. Whereas Trump, to his credit, has done exactly what he said he was going to do.
Exactly.
And exactly what he warned he was going to do.
Both terms as well.
Yeah, but he's particularly done it now.
In a very short amount of time as well.
In a very short period of time. But he knows. Do you know why he's done it in a short period of time?
Because he was planning to today.
No? Well, yes, but no. Because there are midterm elections in 18 months and he needs to make sure that he's got it all through. And so the seeds of it are sown. So that it takes the 18 months or so it takes for things to happen in an economy to work their way through. Which will be lower interest rates, all the rest of it, because otherwise he knows the balance of power in the American government might change. Because right now it's Republican, and then next time around, the incumbent always loses seats.
Yeah, it's definitely Trump won't be up again next.
Well, technically he can't because he's already served a term.
Yeah.
So anyway,
But,
that's the story behind this. So my view of that is Jaguar Land Rover are just going, stick your fingers in our ears.
Wait.
Let's wait and see. Because they're big enough that they can turn around to the government and say, can we have a meeting?
Yeah.
Anyway, that is the story behind that. So have you learnt anything today? Have we learnt anything today?
I've learned quite a bit today.
You've learnt that communism isn't good.
Well, communism, yeah.
Have you learnt anything about smoking?
No, I haven't really.
We've learnt that Newbie likes a bit of Minecraft educational stuff.
I love Minecraft. Maybe not the educational stuff. I don't really.
Well, you don't really like education fully, do you? We've established that.
Not really.
What have you learnt? We've learnt you don't know who your dad is.
That's a good point. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point.
And on that note, it's time to come to a close.
What have you learned?
You're an idiot.
Brilliant. So yeah, on that note.
And that we should delete the UK tax code.
Yeah.
10%.
Well, we have learned that the UK tax code is damaging the economy, and I could fix it tomorrow.
Elect him as president.
James
No, I don't want to be president. I'll happily be a dictator. I'll be quite benevolent, so I won't put you in prison.
Okay, thank you.
No?
As opposed to just being a dick.
That's not very nice.
Fuck off.
It's really not very nice, is it? Can you delete that out?
Yeah, of course I can. The VCP, the VoltsMonster Communist Party.
Won't be any communism near me.
VMCP, yeah.
The point is that people need to apply common sense and rational thought.
Yeah.
Mm.
And clearly Trump has done that, irrespective of what people think. I know that's an unpopular point of view
Yeah.
in many circles, but people don't like it when someone's probably right.
That's common sense, not communism sense.
Oh, right, of course.
Yeah.
Cheers for clearing that up.
That's right, mate.
But anyway, on that note, what have we learned? We've learned you don't like education, you're an idiot, and you like smoking. And you want to die.
It's pretty, I don't want to mention, it's pretty idiotic of you to only just now realise that I'm an idiot.
No, I've known all the time. This is like charity.
Oh,
Just reinstating it.
There's just like an underlying truth to all that as well.
yeah. Sway the black and white music, zoom into my face slowly and put some rain over it.
Yeah, for sure.
And on that note, it's time to close.
Yeah.
We'll see you next time in episode 31. I actually saw a bloke on eBay today. Not eBay, YouTube rather.
Yeah.
And that Sully was watching. And he basically flew to Tenerife on TUI and flew back on Jet 2 to see which one he liked the most.
That's so weird. They're both basically the same thing.
Exactly. But isn't it weird that someone... Was that the closest place he could fly to? Why would you fly for 4 hours in one direction and 4 hours back in the other
You need
direction?
time to assess it, probably. Don't you?
Anyway, and on that note, in terms of common sense, he has a whole load of people that watch him on video. He drank an awful lot of coffee. If you do like what we do, like, subscribe, press the bell, and follow us.
Please send me a letter.
We haven't had any letters recently.
We have. What was the last one we had one?
Yeah, we had. Was it the last one?
It was the last one.
Okay. Well, we'll see.
More.
But after a bit of a dry spell.
Story of your life.